walking amongst us. And so,
Welcome back to Improvision Entertainment. My name is Hunterman, and this is more of Euro Truck Simulator 2, and also TYT for the Friday of August the 5th, 2022 is playing. So trigger warning for the news. If you're not here for that, you can always skip on to the next video, but it is my intention to go south and hit this city, which will be the last one for an achievement. Then we're going to go long ways back in the direction of Geneva, hitting as many question marks along the way as we can. We're going to plot those out now ahead of time.
To game the market, to make people move, and it sometimes has good fallout, such as in the GameStop moves.
And this is more road that we haven't traveled before as we slowly progress towards the first achievement for doing worldwide transportation of 60% of the map. So we are approaching 40%.
Where people like Alex Jones, according to the decisions that were made today and yesterday, and Elon Musk,
and we will go through Parma
system to make it not make financial sense for them to play these kinds of games. And until we do that, they're going to say, well, I make $2 billion by doing all this illegal market manipulation, and I only have to pay $1 billion in damages. I'm still in the black, Jack.
Something also that you know, it's maybe worthwhile to consider in terms.
We'll consider those question marks when we get there. Okay.
Forcing Twitter to go to court is kind of the tax rules and the limitations that are in place there. Because generally,
now this is a World of Trucks transportation, so we get to rest whenever we feel like it.
It's something that is tax deductible.
Which, in character, we need to be doing soon anyway.
And also in the court situation, you are going to be forced to have some kind of mediation.
I think there's a rest area right here.
And you know, Twitter may not want to take that risk, so they may be willing to.
How am I doing on
even
gas?
less. But either way, it's a way that.
Is there a gas station out here? There's not.
Business can as well by deducting that, and so for him to again push into this legal process.
All right, well,
it's
here we
one
go.
of those realizations that we might want to bear in mind that this could be completely and entirely strategic, and the outcome, it might just be a shoulder shrug for Elon Musk, whether it is $1 billion out of his pocket or a lot less, or if it's just a way to reduce his taxes.
With that, we're going to go to our second break. When we come back, though, CPAC is going on. They've got Viktor Orban there, and he's doing pretty much what you'd expect. We're going to break that down after this.
I don't think I know the name Viktor Orban.
Welcome, everybody. Did you know that over at youtube.com/rebelhq, we have so many people covering a lot of different beats in the news. We even have one of them.
Once again, I'm doing this to keep the continuity of game while I'm still playing Euro Truck, but I am still having a sore throat, so I'm trying to keep that in check.
You've also got Yasmin Khan, who covers international politics, provides social commentary, and critiques elected officials. And you can see both of them.
If you want to catch me live, it's twitch.tv/Hunterman.
Rebel HQ. With that, we're going to move on to some member comments. Cadbury Dragon says, TYT spoiling me for my B-Day tomorrow. John, Brett, and Adrian, let's go. We're going. We're going.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
I want to say thank you to Austin. Sent in this beauty.
Nice.
Look at that. And you can use it in your happy
Oops.
half-hour mug at Shop TYT. And then on the back it says coffee, because, yeah, trust me, it's coffee. According to Dan from the internet, all his roommates steal this from him. He'll be on next hour, too.
Nice. Yes, Austin, thank you. Many of us now have one of those flasks.
Hope these trucks leave.
To drink while doing the show. Thank you.
Just a prop.
100%. Swish it.
I don't want it to be nighttime while we're driving, and I do want to just get some more money in here.
Anyway, let's see. The Dragon who says knee says, why would Elon want to get rid of the
All right.
bots? That's 90% of his followers. Yeah, certainly some are, but let's not, like, there are a lot of people who want
garage
nothing
purchase.
more than to endlessly worship billionaires who don't give a damn about them. So I'm sure some of them are real people.
Let's get one in Naples.
More than enough. Licking boots is Americans' #1 pastime. Over on Twitch, the Cramps Fan Dragon has been with us for 18 months. Thank you. 18 months of Cramps. Thank you. Frank Morningtree says,
Ivanko dealership.
Brett and John alone in the studio unsupervised. No, we're not unsupervised. Edwin is watching us like a hawk.
Edwin's here.
But unlike a hawk, I suppose, he did allow some alcohol to come in here.
And shout out to Edwin and company. Look at this shot. There's no reflection on the back screen.
That's
that
true.
was brilliant. It's gorgeous.
Freya
It's
with
really
timely
really
deliveries.
pops.
Yeah, helps the color. Nice. Let's see. Kamala Kabam says, how do we think China feels like with the U.S. doing war games off the coast of Japan every year for the past few decades? Wait, are you implying that we should look at our own actions in the way that we look at? No, that makes me uncomfortable. I don't think we should do that. We're great. We're the best. Anyway, Solo Flight says, news update. Errol Musk buys Twitter and bans Elon Musk.
So good. When Errol Musk was like, I'm not proud of my son, I was like, oh, that explains pretty much everything.
That pretty much does.
Why don't you go to therapy instead of ruining the world?
No, there's strong The Boys Season 3 vibes with Elon Musk. Anyway, Aaron Crawford became a member. Thank you. Moondragon gifted 5 subs at the Young Turks. Has gifted a good number at the Damage Report as well. Thank you for being such a good ambassador. Carol Pack upgraded their membership. Thank you for sticking with us. Two-Headed Dragon's been a member for 4 months. Says, John, Lake Compounds, Kwasi, or Rye Playland, what say you? I would say Kwasi. Growing up, that was the amusement park. I'm actually not familiar with Rye Playland. Maybe that's newer than when I was a kid. But thank you for the question. We'll be right back. Just a couple more comments before we jump back into it. Peter Hamby, thank you for the super chat, but we will actually be covering that breaking news at the start of the second hour, so stay tuned for that. And Mr. Scary sent in a super chat to say, getting to see you guys hosting twice in one day is so much awesomeness. You're the best. Much love to Adrian, too. Oh, thank you. We appreciate the support.
Hey, we had a level up.
Yeah, with that, why don't we jump into some more news?
Stephanie couldn't find a job. I think that's still remaining from sleeping.
The institution of marriage as the union of one man and one woman.
So that's CPAC, which has the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, an authoritarian leader that the right absolutely loves. He came to speak. No word on whether many of the log cabin Republicans were in attendance at CPAC, but they clearly didn't receive a very warm welcome with everyone in the crowd cheering, stripping away the rights of so many people, even those inside of their own party. But that's not all the homophobia you've got from Viktor Orban. Let's roll a bit more.
Family ties shall be based on marriage or the relationship between parents and children. To sum up,
Loud train is loud.
is a woman, the father is a man, and leave all kids alone. Full stop, end of discussion.
Trash on the side of the road.
When a crowd looks exactly like you'd expect that it would. Anyway, he didn't just come there to spread homophobia. There was a lot of other awful things he had to say. And look, he was brought there because he has, in Hungary, done a great bit of work to create the sort of world that conservatives want for us here. Largely lacking in a free media, of rights being stripped away en masse, that sort of thing. And bear in mind, he has been busy, not just in substance, but also in rhetoric. Last month, he gave a speech that was so heinous that one of his longtime advisors quit, said, I can't work for you anymore, said it was a speech worthy of Goebbels. Here is what Viktor Orban said. We are willing to mix with one another, but we do not want to become peoples of mixed race. He added that countries where this was seen as acceptable are no longer nations. So once the races begin to mix, you lose your nation. He said that months ago, and they still had him speak at their conference. Just if you're curious at all about what they think about these sorts of topics, the we shouldn't mix the races was not a deal breaker with Viktor Orban. Anyway. Adrian, let's start with you. What do you think about CPAC choosing to feature him above all people?
It's extremely disappointing, but especially given that we're seeing, kind of this nationalistic mindset mindset and more greater white supremacy principles on an international global scale. And so to bring in another leader in another nation to kind of truly reflect those same beliefs, it's disappointing and disgusting, especially for Hungary. It's like, didn't it learn anything with World War II? I know it aligned significantly with at least trade with Nazi Germany as well as with fascist Italy. And so to think that people haven't learned since then and they're still reflecting these ideologies, even if they're going low key with them at this point in time, it really makes you think that, well, where are we going to be next? Where is this actually going to go?
Nice water.
Hopefully we're not going to be going back.
The right wing in America, specifically the Republican Party, high-ranking officials and their media apparatus want you to believe that the left is all crazies, right? They're crazy. There's a video going up on TYT Investigates later today, if not the weekend. It's just Ted Cruz being like, the left, they're all transgender socialists. And they're saying these left, they've gone way too far left. Listen, to find actual quotes of leftists, of people who identify with the left, actually sounding crazy, Libs of TikTok has to spend every single day going deep, deep, deep into TikTok. To find the psychopaths in the right wing, you just need to look on the stage at CPAC.
Yeah.
Those people are front and center. The Democratic Party gave you the New Deal and Social Security and Medicare. Huge government programs that, guess what, people actually like. Those are way bigger left-wing initiatives than what the crumbs we might gobble up from the IRA that's about to possibly get passed.
Yeah.
That's what I need everyone to point out. Because Ted Cruz out there, Marco Rubio, oh, these socialist, communist, godless, transgender psychopaths who are canceling you. No. That you don't have any evidence of that. But I have evidence that you invited Viktor Orban to speak at CPAC, the guy who said that there shouldn't be interracial marriage. I'm done.
Hey, in defense of Viktor Orban, he didn't say there shouldn't be interracial marriage. He said the races shouldn't mix, which goes way beyond just not getting married.
Right.
It's way more all-encompassing and disgusting. That's, by the way, the guy that Tucker Carlson has spent the last couple of years boosting to his audience. So the American public, which, let's keep it real, isn't naturally full of that much information about the things that go on in other countries. The only information they have about Viktor Orban is the positive stuff they've heard from Tucker Carlson. Again, Tucker Carlson in love with the authoritarian who doesn't want the races to mix. But Viktor Orban doesn't have to answer for that. Tucker Carlson's certainly not going to have to. In any event, Orban was there for the homophobia, perhaps for some of the casual racism, and also to turn reality on its head. It's a great place for it. After all, in that B-roll, you saw people holding up signs saying Trump won. The election was like 19 months ago, and
yeah,
they still believe that Trump won.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said in his speech, the horrors of Nazism and communism happened because some Western states in continental Europe abandoned their Christian values. And today's progressives are planning to do the same. They want to give up on Western values and create a new world, a post-Western world. Who is going to stop them if we don't? Yes, as we all know, fascism was created by out-of-control progressives. Fascism and communism, which I've always seen to be somewhat distinct ideologies, were both created by out-of-control wokesters, I suppose. But I love hearing from fascists about how progressives are responsible for Nazism. He also said this, again, to claims that he's a racist. Don't worry, a Christian politician cannot be racist. Which,
wait, what?
that has not been my experience going through life.
That's so hilarious.
No, but this is
And
what
then he
they
waved his hand. You cannot be racist. These aren't the racists you're looking for.
Yeah.
Your actions speak louder, right?
Yeah, no, it's as Adrian, it's the Trump thing. It's just say the crazy, because the audience doesn't want to hear truth. They want to hear what they want to hear. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. In fact, they've been trained to love statements for being ridiculous. They don't need
All right, we should be on the way to, yeah, Bonifacio.
They not only don't care if they're racist, they want them to be racist, but at the same time, they want the
And then we'll be
racists
back
to
for
stick
that.
a thumb in the eye of non-racists who might overhear this conversation. So say the craziest thing you can imagine. Say things that are on their face not true. The audience actively wants that. They gobble it up. Adrian?
Yeah, well, like you had noted in the last segment, it's the fact that the United States, it lives on hypocrisy. So, of course, a number of its citizens do the same in terms of their behavior. This thought that they can be racist and also be Christians. They're like, no, that can't work. Those two things, oh no, they completely are incongruent. And no, you
Around the Isle of Beauty, achievement unlocked.
Really, to try to avoid the label of racist simply because it makes you feel like an icky person.
It is pretty beautiful.
To create this myth. It just seems to be very much aligned with hypocrisy of truly.
Alright, speeding violation.
And so it's clear why Orban.
You know what that means? No good reason to slow down.
Behaviors, knowing that it's something that the crowd will really eat up.
Except for bashing into a car.
Standing ovation. All is well.
Oh, you slowed down on the hump. It was terrible. It was terrible.
But I want to thank both of you for joining me. Adrian, where can people watch more of your work?
You can catch me on Rebel HQ on YouTube and Facebook.
You know, we were giving, thanks to the document, a rundown of what Brett and Yasmin cover on there. What would you say is your beat? I certainly have a suspicion, but how would you describe it?
Well, I do my best to cover some of the legal issues, just break them down, make them very, very palatable and understandable.
Let's stop in here and repair the truck.
Absolutely, just
for the sake of argument.
I'm down for that, too.
We like to have fun. Everybody likes to party. And Brett, host of Happy Half Hour, as well as you're often on Game Busters. You're going to be on tonight.
Yes, please watch it, because if you're not paying attention to me, I cease to exist. And that's where I drive most of my power, is people complimenting me online.
He's like a needier Tinkerbell, slightly drunker. Also, everyone, I'm John Arola. You can watch me every day on The Damage Report. For now, though, get ready, because we've got J.R. Jackson, who's going to be joining us.
I do need to stop hitting things, though.
Caroline Johnson going to be presenting some stories.
Oh, how exciting. Well, you're not going to want to miss that. We'll be back after this.
Alright. I actually need to start up the next recording thing, so more news while I'm trying to save my sore throat, so...
Drop it. Okay, fine.
Turn right.
What's going on, you guys? Second hour of the Young Turks on a Friday. We're gonna wrap up the week. We've got an amazing PowerPoint. Let's start on the far, I guess it's y'all's left. Dan Evans joins us. Also, Caroline Johnson there in the middle to navigate us through all of these stories. Guys, what's going on? How you guys feel? I'd like to find out how my guests are feeling as you guys come on the show. Tell me, please.
I was going to let Caroline start off.
No one?
Yeah, feeling great. Friday, I'm in the East Coast, so it's Friday evening.
It's Friday
We've
night.
got some late-breaking stories. Yeah.
No other way you'd like to spend your Friday night but hanging out and talking.
No, not at all. About Alex Jones specifically. So
Oh,
yeah.
we're gonna do that for
At the
sure.
roundabout.
Yeah, I like some
Take the
shot
first
before I go on my Friday. It's great to be here.
Excellent. Let's do it then. We're talking about Alex Jones. Let me scroll down
Exit
here, you guys,
now.
because this is a late and breaking news on Alex Jones. We might as well squeeze it in before we get out of here for the weekend. So let's get it. There's an update on the Alex Jones trial that we've been looking at for about a week or two now. All the devastating things that he's been going through, they've finally figured a number to add to those firsts that they've got for the parents of one of those murdered children from Sandy Hook Elementary in 2012. So let's get to those details. As the Texas grand jury on Friday, they decided that the conspiracy theorist, Alex Jones, must pay the parents of a child killed in the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting $45.2 million in punitive damages. Now, that number comes one day after rendering a $4 million award for compensatory damages as well.
This is not a good idea. Do not do this. Do not do this.
That's after several dramatic days in court that included testimony that Mr. Jones and Free Speech Systems, the parent company of his misinformation peddling media outlet InfoWars,
It worked out, but you should not do that. Do not do that.
And $270 million. So because they gave those numbers, that's one of the reasons why they're trying to determine exactly how much they should maybe award these parents.
That counts as a road? Damn.
A foregone conclusion already. It was just the numbers that we were looking for then. So more on this because Wesley Todd Ball, who's a lawyer for the plaintiffs, he pleaded with the jury saying this before they gave their decision.
At the roundabout.
We ask that you send a very simple message that is this. Stop Alex Jones. Stop the monetization of misinformation and lies. Please. Mr. Jones's lawyer, Frederico Anindo Reynal, asked the jury to award $270,000 though in punitive damages. He urged them to look at the facts and the law and to, quote, think about what justice really means. I think they were thinking about that. He also reminded the jurors that all 12 of them had to agree on a punitive damage. Never give up, never surrender your own firmly held voice, is what he said, and they came up with the number that they then came up. This is the explanation as to why they came up with that extra 45.2. Punitive damages are designed as a deterrent and as punishment of Mr. Jones for defaming Neil Heslin and Scarlett Lewis, the parents of Jesse Lewis, the 6-year-old little boy that was killed, along with 19 other first graders and 6 educators, again at Sandy Hook Elementary. The compensatory damages awarded Thursday were meant to compensate the family for actual costs incurred as a result of Mr. Jones's defamatory claims.
Oh, there's only one selection. Okay, cool.
You guys thought the legal woes for Alex Jones were going to come because his cell phone records and text messages were given over, as we heard a couple days ago, were given over to the plaintiff's side. But also, there's more as far as potential monetary damages come here, because this week's trial was the first of 3 to determine how much Mr. Jones owes the families for the suffering he has caused. As I mentioned, it was 19 other children and also 6 educators. Jurors deliberated for about 4 hours.
There's a viewpoint right here.
Friday's verdicts. Now, as you guys know, I'm gonna open it up to you guys. As you guys know, he's been fighting this whole thing. First,
Port of Marseille.
Money, and then every day between each other of these days of hearings, and everyone was watching, he'd go back on his show and bash the judge, bash the jury, bash the
yeah, not a good idea, by the way. Do not bash the judge.
Same story he's been playing for this entire time.
Certainly, like, this is thankfully an opportunity in American society where we see a little bit of an aspect of justice, because if he wasn't given these punitive damages, if he was allowed to continue to spew this, all these lies on air, then who's to stop the next Alex Jones? Who's to stop the next person to do this? That's what I'm always thinking about, especially in the context of things like the January 6th hearings. I love all the different ways that Alex Jones has tried to hide the fact of like how much money InfoWars and its associated companies has made. He's done all these different bankruptcy schemes that like the political economist in me just like loves digging into, about like, oh, he's trying to say this company isn't worth as much as it actually is. Completely absurd. Alex Jones deserves, honestly, to pay more for all of the harm and pain and suffering he's caused to these children, all the misinformation he spread about shootings writ large, saying it's a false flag, and hopefully this teaches him not to do it again, being humiliated in court, being humiliated by the judge, but who's to see with these kind of characters?
Come on, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Of course, this is a huge victory for truth and justice, and I really do think it is going to stop a lot of people who might have been interested in this sort of fear-mongering, lie-based media route. However, I do really have to wonder how much this will change Alex Jones's tune exactly. Brett sort of alluded to this in the earlier hour, but like, we live in such a crazy media ecosystem where the incentives are just so twisted, and like figures like Alex Jones and companies like InfoWars often factor these types of lawsuits into their business models. Now, of course, I think like, yeah, $45 million in damages with more to come is extreme, and hopefully that will have a huge dent in their business model. But, you know, they make something like $800,000 a day, and you just have to wonder how much that he has planned for this exact situation. JR, you mentioned how like every day he's going on his show after court and just like railing about the whole situation. So I'm a little hard-pressed to think this is the last we'll see of Alex Jones. I'm more optimistic that this will stop people rising up through this exact business model, but you never know. I don't know. Someone like Jones doesn't just like take the L, I'm afraid. So
I mean,
definitely
honestly,
a little cynical.
Yeah, we talk about Alex Jones potentially doing it more, or whether or not it's the
All right, let's see if we can get through this red light. That'd be fun, right?
If there's going to be the next Alex Jones, who's thinking, and I didn't realize the part as far as building into that that structure, the economic structure.
Hey, we can.
Hey, let's go ahead and allocate certain amounts of funds. I guess it's like a defamatory insurance policy off on the side to make sure that you can cover these costs in case someone comes to you and all the lies you're telling. Because as long as they're making some kind of money, maybe we won't get caught, or maybe we can figure a new way to do it that doesn't make us look.
I hope Molly's feeling better.
So look, He was just too brazen. It's almost like the Donald Trump effect. He pulls all these things, but he's just a little bit too stupid to fully do it and pull the wool over everyone's eyes enough to finish the job. So, I mean, this is supposed to be something that's supposed to deter other folks from doing something like this. But when the money is looking and feeling that good, I feel like a lot of people are willing to risk it. It's almost like, you know, there's general crime deterrence, but sometimes people get desperate and they pull these types of things off. Let's take our first break. I want to get to these next stories as Caroline leads us through this next block. We'll get a couple of your comments on Alex Jones, but when we do come back, there is an uptick of extremist violence. You guys have heard about that before, but as we're talking about this in front of Congress, specifically, or at least as they're testifying, as these things happen, Ted Cruz has some thoughts that aren't really well thought out. Put it that way. We'll get to your thoughts and a few more stories when we come back. Yes, we're back to read a few of your comments. Let's check out member comments first. Thank you guys for being members. First of all, Jonathan.
All right. What are we hitting here? Recruitment agency?
These same right-wingers who are all on Viktor Orban's sack tell me to move to Cuba or Venezuela because I like socialism. If they like fascism, why don't they move to Hungary? Extraordinarily good point. But the thing is, they're trying to bring those policies here. They're like, we can do
Man truck dealer.
Alfred E. Newman says, what didn't Viktor Orban mention in his CPAC speech?
And then
they have universal health care in Hungary. What else? Orban has enacted severely strict gun control in Hungary. Orban came and took their guns. I mean, they may want to forget that part. Boomer Dragon
I'm okay.
Cat, oh, come on, Boomer Dragon Cat says, got that right, Dan. Schadenfreude is the perfect word for it, in case I mispronounced it. Warlock says, hallelujah, may Alex Jones be punitively damaged into oblivion. On that same note, I did see one of
I guess I need to repair the truck now.
You guys, thank you for being here with us as well.
Oh no, I've got a little cargo damage. That's not. That's the worst.
Yes. Who's Nivix? See, you can't give me these confusing names or else I'm going to screw it up for you. Either way, over on Twitch says, what I really wish they would do is transfer, this is Alex Jones again, transfer his company to those families instead. I understand that. I just wonder what they would do with it. And maybe they don't want to be in online video production or stories, but I mean, they could do what they want with it, I suppose, if that's something that could possibly legally happen. The whole point, I think, then, is to sue it into oblivion. The targeted scapegoat, again on Twitch also, they've subscribed at tier 1. They subscribed for 18 months, so thank you very much, targeted scapegoat.
It's like $10,000 worth of damage, or 10,000 euros.
Entire action figure set, except some of the production crew. As long as you have Edwin, you're good. I used to have favorites, but now I see they all have equally vital role in the TYT universe. 19 months? Let's go, 9th attempt. We can give you guys the names. We can do trading cards of all the crew members because they actually get us going and make sure that we're looking good, sitting down, can hear things and see ourselves. It's thankless work. Bushy Dobo says we should let Alex go to space, but he cannot come back.
I want to go to space.
And as you guys know, Damage Report. I'm sorry, Damage Report. Jesus, that's after my show. After the watch list in the mornings, I do like for you guys to give my guests some flowers while they're here. Mary Animal says, love me some Dan.
Thank you.
Everyone loves some Dan. Dan's got to come back on the watch list because it's always a fun time there.
Oh, wait.
The fact that I just generally don't have, but fun times as well.
Somebody must have come in with a big
we're gonna get to when we come back.
thing. Hold on, I have.
For it, so we're gonna get her on this next block in just a moment.
Another truck I can get.
Back on a Friday power panel on the Young Turks to wrap up your week. And you know what? I said it's a power panel because Caroline Johnson has this next story. Please.
Yeah, let's go for it. So FBI Director Christopher Wray on Thursday expressed growing concern about rising extremist violence.
Don't I already have Mahjong?
States, driven by several recent big political events. I'm sure you have no idea what that could possibly mean. So in an oversight hearing Thursday before the Senate Judiciary Committee, Wray bluntly laid out his assertion that political violence is on the rise in the United States, but he was unwilling to pin the violence on one side or the other, or even on one issue in particular. He pointed both to ongoing election-related disputes from 2020, as well as anger following the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe versus Wade, for this uptick in violence by and against Americans. So he said in this testimony that, quote, I feel like every day I'm getting briefed on somebody throwing a Molotov cocktail at someone for some issue. It's crazy. But people are acting like he has, in fact, chosen which side he's on and which side he thinks is more violent, including Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who focused in this hearing on a list of symbols that the FBI has deemed expressions of violence. So Newsweek reports that the Domestic Terrorism Symbols Guide, which was
100 euros
by
from
far-right
Else.
organization Project Veritas, includes common images such as the Betsy Ross flag, an earlier design of the U.S. flag that features 13 stars instead of 50,
And $5,000 from, or 5,000 euros from Yudvik,
Gonzalez battle
who
flag,
leveled up.
and the Liberty Tree. So Ted Cruz has a very close physical relationship with this Gonzalez battle flag that I think we have a photo of we can show you here. It is one of these symbols that is on this list Project Veritas released. And the senator is going to really great lengths to defend this exact symbol. So let's take a look at his most recent meltdown.
$650 from Andres.
Also included on this is a text that I was particularly struck is the Gonzalez battle flag. Come and take it. As indicative of being a violent extremist militia, well, I will self-report right now that every day in the Senate I wear my boots that have the Gonzalez battle flag on the back.
Do you?
Director Ray,
I feel like somebody would have noted that.
what are y'all doing?
So Ray responded
6.8K from Richard.
Particular easel that Cruz had brought in and that he was referencing, but the FBI goes to great lengths to provide context and nuance when they release warnings like this. So on the one hand, we've got the director of the FBI talking about a clear uptick in politically motivated violence, and then on the other hand, we've got Ted Cruz saying that the definition of violence is downright ridiculous. So what do we think here? I'll throw it to you, JR. Are we buying Cruz's defense here?
His defense. It's more of like an aggression is more what it is. And that's really the whole point of Ted Cruz and these types of things. And it really most Republicans when it comes to whether or not they're talking about how oppressed they
8,000 from Patrick. Oh yeah. Oh, the snowball. The snowball is becoming real. 1.5K from William. Nice.
Or you weren't wearing that boot and you're just doing this as another prop. Maybe it's because we work in production and we actually see things get set up. We notice, and we're in LA, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we're exposed to the fact that there's so much fakeness in everything that these folks do. All these guys are actors. They're just on the other side of the country. So he's going to slam his boot on the table and that sticker that he got from that he got printed down at the Staples this morning and slapped it on the back of his boot and said, "I wear this every day." And you think somebody wouldn't have talked about him wearing that filthy boot every day into the Senate without everyone noticing it before? But he has to make this political demonstration so that everyone thinks, "Oh man, Ted Cruz is a badass. He wears that battle flag on the back of his boot every day." What does that do for you? What does that mean? It means what does it say on it? Come and take it. Because, you know, that's a way to prove that you're not part of a violent approach to politics anymore, and you're not inspiring others to think, hey, you know what? I'm going to rise up against this country because I have an AR-15, and you know what? I'm going to start shooting everybody. Because that's the thought process. So many people like Ted Cruz inspire to think they can do with their guns, and instead they shoot themselves in the foot, or their wife, or their kids, or then someone else they got mad at in the road rage incident. That's how these things work, but Ted Cruz doesn't care. He doesn't care that there's extremism going across the board throughout our country. What Ted Cruz cares about is his political expediency in getting to that next step. I'm not sure if he's going to run for president again, but that was embarrassing enough the first time. But slamming boots on the table and acting like a badass, I guess he thinks is the next step coming back.
My God, yeah, like the extremism point's very important to get home. I want to get to that in a moment. But Ted Cruz, the Ted Cruz doing the boot thing, he's a person we've known to expect a lot of animation from, a lot of theatrics, but that boot anecdote set me on one. So like people have known that he's worn boots in Congress for a while. Like he has talked about this during one of the Obama filibusters back in the height of the Tea Party days during like 2012 or whatever. But what I think is the weirdest thing is his fixation with boots. He once said, Marco Rubio said, a vote for Marco Rubio is a vote for men's high-heeled booties. That's what Ted Cruz,
men's high-heeled booties
said about Marco Rubio at one point. So he's got this weird boot absolute interest what to say, but Ted Cruz is all about theatrics. Even people on the right are kind of sick of when he does this. What are these theatrics for? What is this lame attempt at trying to get the FBI director in a gotcha moment for? Is to try to, it's for Ted Cruz and a lot of us prominent Republicans to establish a narrative that this rise in political violence is and any effort to fight back against political violence is actually government overreach targeting conservatives. It's government overreach targeting things that conservatives and symbols that conservatives like to ally with. Ted Cruz is well aware that there's this middle ground. It's like shaky territory between the extreme right wing and the moderate center of the party, quote unquote, and what symbols they like. And he's willing to play within those waters for cheap political credit and maybe like an attempt to win an election down the line, whether it's for Senate or for presidency. What's really sick
is that a bullet train?
Because he's playing with fire, he's playing with extremism, and we know by paying attention to this stuff,
sounded at least electric.
Effects for people on the left and marginalized groups.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm glad you pointed that out.
No, it's going way too slow.
A little bit later in his testimony, Ray basically details that he's on these weekly calls with sheriff's departments and local police departments, and they are just nonstop talking about the violent crime in their communities and how just these police departments are struggling. And you hit the nail on the head, Dan, when you said like the overreach. If there is to be an overreach and a backlash to violence, politically based violence, it's not
2000 from Pierre
conservatives in Texas, or it might be in certain cities, but it's definitely not this, you know, remember the Alamo type situation where conservatives have to like get their arsenal ready. It's going to be largely in cities, largely to communities of color. And so yeah, you're absolutely right. He is weaponizing this moment and creating a backlash that is never even going to affect the people that he is talking about. And that's like infuriating to me. And then we continue this cycle of talking about how crime is so much worse in, you know, different urban city communities. And it's because people like Ted Cruz continue this narrative that that conservatives are, you know, just protecting the rule of law and things like that.
It's my last thought on this, Elise, is so this trying to equate the two types of things, because just Ray was talking about how there's violence on both sides. Folks are upset about the court ruling that struck down Roe versus Wade, so they got violent. And then other folks are mad about anything else they can generate to be mad about because there's no actual policy that they're following behind, and then they get mad about it.
Driver Gertrude couldn't find a job. Damn.
Lost their rights, and many of them are not violent. In fact, or than some of the crimes that are
Nice discovered. Bon voyage. 18 of 31. Wait, that's a different achievement. Hold on. Because I'm not in Italy right now. Well, progress.
Overthrow the government or wait for the government to come and take something. That's why there's a specific direction that Cruz took with that stupid boot when someone come and take it, because that's inspiring those same groups. But they need to be victims. They can't be these aggressors. And at the same time, these soft safe space libs, they'd like to call, are somehow the violent ones. They never determine which one it is. Are they soft and weak, or are they violent, bloodthirsty, and ready to kill you? It doesn't matter. It just matches up with whatever they need to give that different narrative so that those same folks can continue to feel this righteousness in their violence. And until you're a Josh Hawley running for your ass in the middle of the Capitol, you're all on board. Then when they come, you're scared, looking for that safe space where those libs are hiding. I can't stand these people. I'm gonna let you continue here.
Yeah, so this goes directly into our next story, which is kind of fun, but also very, very bizarre.
Arnold with 656 euros.
Groups of insurrectionists that have been emboldened, like we saw on January 6th. So this year, CPAC, the CPAC conference, is underway right now.
Hey guys, if you're watching later on YouTube and you don't care for this news thing and you've made it this far, I don't know what to tell you. I am a small-time streamer. It is a little past 4 o'clock in the morning. If anybody is watching, and the Twitch thing is not always accurate with how many viewers I have. If anybody is watching, they're quiet, and maybe they're watching the news along with me. But at the very least, if you think that it'd be more entertaining if I was conversing with people, or if you have something you want to ask me yourself, check me out at twitch.tv/Undermine, or if you're live now and you're quiet, feel free to participate in the chat. I will happily turn the news off if
Okay, so
I've got people to interact with and
looking at
talk to.
here. So,
Sore throat
Laura
aside.
Hadid, who is a reporter who is covering CPAC, tweeted that, so this exhibit that we are watching right here, you are handed a basically like Bluetooth headphones, sort of like a silent disco. But instead of dancing, you stand around and watch this guy cry. And while listening to these allegedly harrowing audio of people who were arrested for their involvement in January 6th. So let's put this tweet up next on the screen where Laura tries to go into detail about what we are watching here. So she says, I need you to understand that I stood here for about half an hour yesterday, and this guy never broke character. He wept sitting on the bench. He wept sitting on the floor. He tallied days on a chalkboard set up for this purpose. So, who is this MAGA Marina Abramovich? We are looking at this performance art piece by someone named Brandon Straka. So Brandon Straka founded this group called Walk Away, which is encouraging Democrats to walk away from the Democratic Party. And
Okay.
he was involved in the attacks
Already gone.
on January 6th, but he did not serve any prison time, thanks to what his attorneys described in their sentencing memos as, quote, substantial cooperation with investigators. I think we all know what that means. It's a little thing called snitching. So the Walk Away campaign, as I said, is an organization encouraging people to leave the Democratic Party in favor of Trump. And let's go a little bit more into Straka, who is the actor in this performance art piece. Let's get into what he did during the January 6th riot. So according to BuzzFeed News, Straka had spoken at the
Hey, Driver Molly with 2,000.
on January 5th, 2021, and then joined the mob that descended on the Capitol the following day. But he did not enter the building or assault law enforcement. Instead, he admitted to urging other rioters to steal an officer's shield and to enter the building. So since then, since his involvement on that day, he has done a lot of snitching. Straka provided information regarding Stop the Steal organizer Ali Alexander and members Amy Kramer, Kylie Kramer, and Cindy Chafian. And this is in addition to a bunch of other people. So here is ultimately what happened to him was that Straka was sentenced in January to 3 months of home detention, a $5,000 fine, and 3 years of probation for one misdemeanor count of disorderly conduct. And then something like 19 months later, here we are, and here he is at CPAC in this quite thrilling piece of work. So Straka describes himself as a former liberal actor, which I love so much. And I don't know. There's two things about this piece that I'd love to
Tab
get into. So
Levin says, do I do pro mods? I do not.
in a way, of the
I am
totally ratted out,
focusing
like,
on
anyone who he knew
getting all the
had
base
some
achievements in the
involvement
game,
in
primarily. I'm working on Italy right now,
But
and
I'm also not convinced
I
that
tend to
he
go
does
where
anything with
people
Hollywood.
want me.
I think that he is trying to get on their good side again. And
Welcome to
doing
the
this
welcome to the
piece of
channel.
Truly harrowing performance art to I don't know. JR,
If you want me to
said
turn off the news, I can do that.
Like all these people are just wannabe actors, and I think that is very much the case with this one.
Absolutely.
So.
No, listen, this guy needs to have the spotlight. He needs to show off his skills. I'm gonna get to what I'm gonna say, but I want to hear from Dan. He has a look on his face.
I'm not opposed to pro mods. It's just that
Of course, I'm a cynical, funny take,
I don't know a
which
great
is
deal
I'm
about
happy
all
to
the
see
modifications you can do to the game,
actually has,
and I
acting
don't
skills, because I
tend to mess with
often
mods on a game that I am
major conservative
actively trying to get the
right
achievements
now
in, because
have
usually
this
modifying a
backstory
game
where they tried to make
makes
it
it so you
Hollywood
can't
thing.
get to the
One of my
achievements.
favorite, deep pieces of lore of all time. See if we can find this on
And I
the
realize it's a
somewhere.
long,
Later
long
shoot
road to
course
the achievements,
is Ben
but
Shapiro being interviewed for one of his
it's
books
a road
by
I'm
an
on.
author who just destroys it. Because like all of their ideas, they're just like not really liked. They're not really good at this like talent Hollywood thing being compelling. In this case, I mean, it looked like, college graduate student level performance art. I mean, you had some detail there, you had some dedication there, I think that
I probably should have pulled over and rested there.
Because you look at the very light deal he got on for playing a little bit of rap snitch conditions over there for the feds. It looks like he is having a interesting
$45 from Martin.
He's having an interesting go of it and trying to maybe make another crack in Hollywood, because after this stuff, either you continue grifting to right-wingers, which is a very lucrative enterprise, or maybe you make that pivot with some of your other talents.
Oh, can you tell me a little bit about pro mods? Like, why would I run it as a mod? I don't remember what it does. I looked it up a long time ago, like a year ago when somebody mentioned it. The last time I was really playing Euro Truck, but it doesn't come to me what it is.
A couple articles. Specifically, what was in everyone's ears? The sounds of people groaning in prison? Is that the idea?
No, yeah, so
it's a huge expansion to the base game.
I believe who had jail time.
Is that one of those big like map expansions out into like being able to hit Russia and stuff like that, or Middle East or something?
Yeah, so it's like stories.
Oh, because they've never heard of.
Because if I was gonna do something like that, I'd do it over an American Truck Simulator, because it's gonna be years before I even have a chance of driving through my own streets in the game, because I am on the East Coast.
No. Persecute me. Let me act like it's persecution. Let me act like I'm a victim, so that I can continue to pull the veil over everyone's eyes. I guess
All the roads are expanded.
To make it seem like I'm always
neat.
The government's coming after me. Look at these ragtag leaders.
Maybe after I hit 100% completion or something like that, if people still want to see me play the game, we will install something like a Pro Mods. I've been wondering if there's like a fantasy setting or something like that, or sci-fi or something. Like, there are alternate maps I know that you can get for the game, but I just don't know what they comprise, and that would be interesting. But like I said, I kind of don't want to break the base game and do any weirdness that might conflict with doing achievements.
No, not just the day of. They said it for days and weeks and months, and probably up till now are still saying,
which I'm making good progress on. I mean, over 100 hours in, and I've still got plenty to do, and I've only covered like less than 40% of the map, but I still think I'm making pretty consistent progress. Oh, that is a nice city.
There's so many conflicting.
I like this. Is that Jennifer? Hold on.
The design. It's supposed to make your head spin. It's back. It's supposed to make their supporters' head spin and go, everybody's coming for me. Everybody's coming for me. I can't think what's up or down as long as I'm a victim. But instead, let's ignore the real victims. Let's ignore people who had false prison sentences and unfair sentencing throughout our
Got a little close to that car.
Don't do the crime, and you won't have to do the time. I always hear that until it's them.
Exactly, and wrapping up, I think that's a really important point about how post January 6th, like right in the aftermath of January 6th.
Wait, hold on. I want to be in the left lane, don't I?
It was Antifa, it was BLM, etc. And then once, the harrowing images and more.
Tabal, if you think you might be back, consider following the channel. I play other things besides Euro Truck Simulator, and also you can use !vote in the chat to help determine what games I will be playing on stream during my birthday month of September. The poll will be running all of this month, and yeah, if you think you might be back, you and anybody else, I have an ongoing poll usually. I'm always checking to see what people want to see me play. Oh, and I guess I should say, there is a blank for suggestion in the poll for you to suggest something you want to see me play, including changes, modifications, special achievements or challenge modes or something like that in certain games. So if you want to see me do pro mods, you could suggest it, and then it will be in a poll later this year that is made up exclusively of games suggested or modes and such suggested by viewers such as yourself.
The right does art, I guess, now.
So just putting that out there.
They're artists. Let's take our next video, guys, yeah? Let's go to this one. We'll go to your comments again as well on these. I'm actually looking forward to y'all's thoughts about this particular grad level art, not art, sort of film students, I suppose.
Art aficionados, people who enjoy, the arts.
Maybe you take a weekend acting class. You can go through this as well. You too can be at CPAC, Texas, acting your ass off. And also, what we'll do when we come back after your thoughts, There is, we're wrapping
Let's
back
see.
around to John Shatner, because you forgot who he is. He is
I actually
top
do
of
need to
Papa
hit a
John's.
rest
Still
area.
not
Let me see
happy
where the
since he
nearest
stepped down
next
from his
one
position
is.
there heading the company. It's been like
It's up
4 years
ahead.
now. He's talking again at one of these conservative.
So we're gonna hit
conferences.
that.
We'll do all those stories. Few of your thoughts, you guys. First off, back to the old church. Thank you, guys. I went through some members. I went through Twitch last time. Let's get to a YouTube member comments
So yeah, you could say Euro Truck Simulator Pro mods could be your suggestion if you wanted. And then I tell you what, I bet people would vote for it.
Wants to kill people. Chief Supreme says this guy really pulled off his little boot. I don't think he pulled it off, but if he did, it's even worse. In fact, I hope he was acting. So no, I'd have to deal with that. James Nelson says, how much did they pay him to just sit there and lock crocodiles?
Hey, Gertrude with 603 euros.
Crisis actor, as Edwin said. At CPAC,
I almost hit that car. I'm a little toasty. A little tired.
Appleseed says, I take this piece more of a, quote, small fries in jail while elites go free type of piece. It's a good name for it. And James Nelson says, get Josh Hawley in that cell. You can't get him. He's running. He's still running. Super chat comments. Want to get you guys as well. We have a minute.
Let's see here.
Left. I can get to these guys. Tria.
Now we can make more time go by. It'll be fine.
Thank you for the super chat. Says, haven't seen Jank in a few weeks. Hope everything is okay. Hasn't been a few weeks. It's been what? This is the second? Second.
All right, let's fill the garage while we're here.
Shows how much you miss him. Send him a message. Tell him that you miss him. Brian Miller says, I want to see Elon Musk cut a gym and show skill. I missed what they were talking about. Elon Musk, so I probably screwed up what they were thinking there. R. Stone. So to the right wing has no problem with replacement theory, but CRT in advanced college courses is a threat.
Filling these garages kind of fast. I like it.
I will only refer to Santa Cruz as
snowballing is beginning.
You might get called that at home. Early Bird 42 says, glad you like the flasks. Thank you for the shout out. It was the boost that I needed. Brett, let me know if you're interested in the happy half-hour edition. Love you all. The best. I assume Brett was showing off this is
all right,
a part
Stevie.
of that whole thing. It's nice coasters, these beautiful situations, but there was also flasks with it. Haven't had a chance to be the drunk I can be yet with the one I have at home, but they are beautiful. We can get one more. And Jason Ray says the overthrow of Roe is violence against Americans. Absolutely. Thank you for that correction, because I didn't even say it that way, and it's absolutely true. If you actually pay attention to the situation and the things people go through because of that decision, you'll understand that too. Do that.
Well, I'm here. Might as well hit the gas on the way out, right?
Young Turks Power Panel for a Friday. Caroline Johnson. Also, Dan Evans. Tell me your last name again, the one that I never pronounced.
Dan Evans Nakamura.
That one. Okay, let's jump into this next story, you guys.
That's less than it was when I was there 6 years ago. Over 40% of the stores are losing money. Wow. We won ASCI, the highest quality in the pizza category, 18 out of 19 years. They now are down with Little Caesars. So the thing has really got away from them.
I hate Little Caesars, so that's tough.
I hate Little Caesars.
What are we talking about?
There is former CEO and founder of Papa John's. Apparently, I'll send his name wrong. John Schnatter?
Yeah, it's John Schnatter. You have to remember, JR, that it's a hard N, just like the word he used that got himself into a lot of trouble.
Wow. Wow.
That's for damn sure. So there he is, again, at CPAC, Texas. He's
Hilarious.
complaining that his pizzas, ever since he left, have now been downgraded to that Little Caesars status, and he just can't take it. First of all, pause there for a second. Ain't nothing wrong with Little Caesars, John. First of all.
I mean...
but we'll get to that later. He also revealed that there's a secret ingredient that was in his Papa John's pizza that apparently made it so damn good. Let's get into before we get into that, though, here's what he did say that Dan was mentioning there. Chairman of Papa John's resigns. This is in 2018. Resigns after a report that he used a racial slur. John Schnatter, I think, admitted that he used the slur in a conference call in May of that year. Let's go with some more details on that. Schnatter used the N-word in a call between Papa John's executives and marketing agency Laundry Service, is what Forbes reported. Schnatter acknowledged using the slur and apologized, but that was not enough for him to keep his position. But besides all that, his secret sauce, he's talking about the success that came around Papa John's, which actually that secret sauce was the garlic butter, because that's one of the first places that was regularly using that and giving it to everyone in their pizzas. That was actually the thing. But He's revealing more about his resignation and the things that happened around that. He's talking more at CPAC. Let's watch a little more.
I guess so many people I love that are franchisees, and they really did well during COVID, but they've lost their way.
That makes sense, yeah.
And you know, if you don't have that quality, you don't have that service, and you don't have that culture, you're asking for, you know, a bad day at the office.
That's rough. I wanted to be successful so you can continue to get those checks, but at the same time, I mean, if they're losing the policies that you instated, did you experience, as a businessman, conservative policies financially? Did they help you? Is that kind of how you reach success?
We built the whole company on conservative values. That's what I'm saying. The conservative ideology has two of the most critical attributes: truth and God, truth and unity. If you run your life on principles and you're truthful and factual,
Wow, okay.
and you have win-win mutual respect, and you're thoughtful and you're considerate, you're going to win.
Uh-huh.
You run your life on truth, values, God, conservative principles and values, customer service. He went through multiple things. Then you're going to win. Says the guy who's complaining that he lost his company because he followed through on conservative values, truth, God, customer service, inward, maybe those types of things. Some more for what that happened from the Huffington Post. A sweat-laden Schnatter told Kentucky's WDRB TV that a day of reckoning would arrive after board members stole the company from him. Schnatter also
A
suggested
day of reckoning. I remember that.
40 pizzas in 30 days during this bizarre interview. He later weighed in on the potential food feat and said that he wasn't referring to eating the pizzas. He's just talking about taking a bite of a pizza. I think that was the whole thing with that. He's tested them ever since and all that. I don't know. First off, I guess on the quality of the pizza, which I think is the smallest point here, and maybe I need to take a general poll. People have been complaining about Papa John's since before he left. People who didn't like Papa John's didn't like Papa John's. I'm not sure why the narrative is around, oh, it was the #1 pizza place ever. And yeah, many people liked it again for that garlic butter. But it was #1 ever, now everybody hates it. I've had Papa John's before and after he was involved, and it tastes absolutely the same. I'm not sure.
Although that part I'll agree to.
Taste that he's talking about, or only conservatives bought his pizzas. That's the thought process. But definitely he wants his company back, despite what he was talking about. Now, details of the N-word thing, he was mad, and he was talking with that marketing company, and he was complaining about KFC, and that's when he mentioned the N-word, and he was attributing that to them in some kind of way, and then later apologized and said, in no way should this be a part of our general discourse in racism. You said it, but it shouldn't be part of our general discourse. But it's still conservative values and trust in God and customer service. I don't know. I get he misses his company and his work, but at least makes some sense. By the way, he's doing fine. Dude's not broke. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you put your life into a brand that has and continues to have your name, and it completely, you know, in his opinion, it is now completely, like, terrible, the pizza's awful, the franchises are all failing, like, that really just speaks to how terrible of a business person you were, that, like, the second that you leave a national company that it like can't survive. Obviously, there's probably no difference now between the flavor of the pizza. It's just such a shallow defense. Like, it's basically he's insulting himself by saying that this, you know, it used to be the best and then I left and now it's terrible. It doesn't really speak well to your business practices. And yeah, it's interesting when he's asked about conservative policies. You can kind of see the reporter is sort of, I think she means like, yeah, what, like hard work, or like whatever, those BS conservative values. But he just says, what is he? He says God,
all right.
And it's like,
almost here at our destination at Parma.
Actually, talk about the fact how I was looking this up a little earlier. Like, I think his dad owned a restaurant when he was
Imperator,
young, and was able to sell
19
pizza
of 26.
So, you know, you start with a little leg up. It's a lot easier to become a successful business owner. And I'm sure we all know that had he been CEO during the pandemic, he would have taken, you know, all the PPP loans he possibly could. So it's like these vague conservative values, but, you know, when it really comes down for it, I'm sure he took advantage of every corporate deal that he possibly could. But of course, he's never going to mention those types of things.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Hello,
I think maybe the
Parma.
accidental mask-off moments when he said, oh, we run our business off of conservative values. Because for my entire lifetime, both the major moment of my lifetime before John Schneider said the N-word and afterwards. There are these two major moments. Before, after. No, but like this entire time, conservatism as like a value has been nothing but branding it. Whoever's talking about that or invoking conservative values in any given situation, it's whatever they need. And that's cool as a branding. That's cool as like you're a pizza, you're a marketing guy. But in reality, I think...
Oh, I guess that's where I was originally going to stop to bed or sleep or whatever, but no big deal.
In that context, but it was like a number of different times where he had shown that his true values were bigotry, like separating himself away from the poor class. I want to say that John Schneider's the guy who had the moat in front of his house, like the Papa John's like castle and everything, with the drawbridge. Like, this is a very special kind of guy, a totally normal CEO type guy, like many of these like larger execs are. And ultimately, I like that point, Caroline, because a good sign of running a good business is when you're gone and the people you've hired and worked through there are able to keep things running.
Jobo Gamer Official. Hello, Jobo. How are you doing? I'm currently just listening to the news because I got nobody to talk to. If you want me to turn the news off, I can do that. But how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, there's an outside chance that you left a racist stain on the company when you left.
I'm doing okay. I've got a little bit of a sore throat, which is part of the reason I'm listening to the news and, still trying to get some trucking in, but, like, not talking so much. Well, that and nobody to talk to. Because I'm a very small streamer. Very small. Super small. In the game, I'm kind of reaching that snowball point where your employees are making good money for you at a pretty consistent pace. So the snowball shall begin soon. Wait, why didn't you have me go straight and then
Get ready to turn right.
Jon Stewart was
playing single player or Truckers MP? I am not playing. I am playing by myself. That is correct. Single player. If I was playing multiplayer, I'd be more likely to use the in-game convoy system because I don't usually modify my games. But I am trying to tackle at the moment the achievements of Italy, which I've made good progress today. Because a friend of mine who is a mod and who has been on channel for a while and who was kind of taken out sick a few hours ago, she is from around here. I'm not opposed to the idea, though. I just don't really have anybody to drive with. And, well... Okay, Tucker Carlson is happening right now. But but I'm not opposed to the idea. Do you have a group? I don't know anybody else who plays this game. I just picked up American Truck Simulator for a friend for their birthday because they've been watching me play Euro Truck, and just installing ETS at the moment so I can go play ETS 2 multiplayer. Oh, cool. Did you just pick it up because it's on sale? Or are you reinstalling it to go back to it after it's been a while?
Stewart did respond to that video. He was talking about his height and whether or not he could date him. I mean, I guess Jon Stewart doesn't tick off every box for Tucker Carlson. But Stewart did respond, though, about that particular point. He tweeted this. Friends, tonight I'm sad. Tucker Carlson believes me too short to date. And yet somehow, miraculously, I remain tall enough.
Picked it up ages ago? Yeah, I picked up American Truck Simulator a little over a year ago. And I enjoyed it enough that I was like, well, when it goes on sale, maybe I'll pick up the other states. And then, like, flash forward, like, a week and a half, and the states went on sale. I was like, okay, that's a little bit sooner than I expected, and I picked it up. And then people were like, you should play Euro Truck. It has even more content. It's kind of like the same game. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And then it went on sale, like, a month or two later, and I started playing that as well. And, then, before about a week ago, I haven't played it for like a year. So, but I ran a poll for what games people want to see me play on stream, finish or complete. And Euro Truck Simulator 2 just blew everything else out of the park as far as like what people wanted to see me complete. So I am playing it. If you would like to vote in my current poll for what games I'll be playing in the month of September, you can use !vote in the chat to do just that. And then, you know, if you follow the channel, you'll get notified when I go live, and it might be for a game you vote for me to play in the poll.
When he was doing Crossfire on CNN. Watch.
During an infamous 2004 appearance on the now defunct CNN
Got it about 2
show
years ago. Nice.
Jon Stewart didn't pull
Yeah, it's been out for ages, but
Democratic strategist Paul Begala and Tucker
I'm kind of wondering if not being able to like expand because of the Russia DLC and stuff like that will put them a little bit faster track to maybe like doing a next gen. Like I'm wondering if not being able to make lots of new content will end up making it so that they will revitalize old content by possibly focusing on ETS3. It seems like the game's still getting updates though, so what do I know?
Crossfire was canceled shortly thereafter, with the president of CNN, Klein, specifically citing Stewart's appearance and his decision.
Seems like there's a grudge going on.
And it gotta go now since Twitch is taking up all my bandwidth. Yeah, I could see that.
I think that
Well,
obviously it's so much
like I said, if you think that you might want to come back, because I do play this and other games, consider following and voting in the poll. Otherwise, it's been good having you, and I hope to see you in the future. Maybe, if I'm lucky.
They are scared. Like, they got their butts handed to them this week in a way that we don't really see often, just because they are so good at messaging and being on the offensive. And basically,
I want to go this way.
You know, surrounded the, I believe it was the PACT Act, which was to fund veteran healthcare spending. And basically, like, all of these right-wing figures, Tucker Carlson,
Well, it was good chatting.
terrified because Jon
Oh, thank you very much for the follow.
effectively just showed the right.
I hope to see you in the future. Like I said, !vote, or you can check the About page for the link for the current poll. And it'll help me determine what games we'll be playing in September, which is my birthday month. Later, have a good one. Stay safe out there.
The right holds claims that they hold near and dear to their heart. So Jon Stewart is out there championing these people that the right says that they care about. And the right knows it. Tucker Carlson knows it, knows that they were caught on their back heels and that Mitch McConnell put them in an absolutely despicable position, a shameful position. And Jon Stewart is just out here, you know, once again showing them he's doing their job, basically. He's showing that they only pretend to care about veterans in addition to, you know...
Driver Madison made 426 euros.
He's actually fighting for them, and he's actually, like, you know, hoarse and maybe looks a little more haggard than he used to, but all of that is because he is actually fighting when the rest of them are playing checkers.
We're talking about actors throughout this hour, you guys, from that crisis actor at CPAC, Texas, to people that
You know what? We're gonna do a slight detour.
acting like he's this badass. It's all an act. It's a constant thing. So when they see someone,
And we're gonna hit these question marks right before we drop off.
because he's out there fighting for
Imperator, 20 of 26. So we've been to almost all of the cities of Italy.
That wraps up for this hour, you guys. We're going to have the bonus episode, though. The three of us will be back with a couple more stories. I always like to get to whatever else everyone else is talking about. Join us over there. Become a member. You can see it all once you're there. Can't wait to see you over there. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Okay, hit one question mark. We'll go and hit the other one. And we got a little black box next to me, but it's not a big deal.
Turn right. At the roundabout, take the first exit.
I would take the first exit, but there is a question mark. Wait. Engeron? Engeron. I thought that said Energon for a second there. That's a wormy corporation in World for the Apocalypse. I'm going to guess, since that was a recruitment, I'm going to guess this is a truck. Yeah, that's Mercedes-Benz, I think.
Turn right, and then continue straight
Oops.
on.
Almost read that red light. Alright, we are approaching the end of our journey.
Go straight on. Turn right.
And then I guess I will probably call this quits for tonight. But I will be back at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for some Astroneer with Ryan and Daniel.
We are finished.
Asking the question, where do you need it? Need it in the back. Huh. I'm gonna guess you need it between other trucks. More or less. Whoops. Kind of messed it up at the end. Yep, that's what I figured. Alright. Top it off. Still getting experience points for some reason. Not quite enough to purchase anything, so I'll tell you what, for anybody who's watching later on YouTube, I would like to thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking around. This has been Euro Truck Simulator 2, presented by Improvision Entertainment. I've been Hunterman, and I will see you in the future.